My aim? Not so great these days. I haven't seriously practiced since 2013, back when I was grinding CSGO so hard my elbow would go numb. Not even exaggerating, I'd get off work and play until I could barely feel my arm. Then, in 2020, I went back to school and pretty much dropped any game that required precision. Between classes, I was deep into Slay the Spire, Elden Ring, and Super Auto Pets. Great games, but not exactly aim-intensive. And aiming is one of those skills that kind of stays with you, but definitely rusts if you don't use it. I've been playing shooters since Halo 2, which, by the way, came out over 20 years ago. So for most of my life, aiming and shooters have always been second nature to me. I made the jump from controller to mouse and keyboard in 2013 when I built my first PC, and I spent the next few years sharpening my skills. I was never a god tier aimer, but I could always hold my own. Now that I've got a full-time job again, I've started getting back into games like Marvel Rivals with buddies on the weekends. And let me tell you, aim matters, unless you're playing Scarlet Witch. Then you're just out there aiming with your eyes closed or something like that. But when I look at my teammates' accuracy compared to mine, it's clear. My aim, it's a little rusty. And with Season 2.5 giving Hela even more buffs like increased ammo, and my current main getting nerfed again, she feels like the perfect main for this next portion of the season. So I wanted to find out, could I improve my aim just by spending a little time practicing without having Doctor Strange shove his shield in my face?
This is... Can I...
Here's the plan. I'll play 5 games as Hela and record my average accuracy. Then, I'll hop into an aim trainer I haven't touched in forever. After some training, I'll play another 5 games and see if there's any real improvement. No gimmicks, no switching hardware. So I ran these matches in quick play and here's how it went. Game 1 actually started off pretty smooth. I was landing a decent number of shots, feeling good, until a Scarlet Witch popped her ultimate. I panicked, completely whiffed, and in that moment, it hit me just how much I really needed to work on my accuracy. Still, I ended the match with a 44%. Game 2 went surprisingly well. I hit 49%, which felt great. They even had a storm floating around giving me easy targets, though I was still struggling to fully capitalize on them. Game 3 also clocked in at 49%. I joined this one late, right at the final push. At first I wasn't going to count it, but the team held the point with me for the rest of the match, so it earned its spot. Game 4 dropped down to 41%. I was missing a ton of shots, mostly trying to hit a Spider-Man zipping through the air and an Iron Fist who just would not leave me alone. Game 5 was rough. I ended at 40%. I spent most of the match trying to land long-range shots on a slippery Black Widow who was just dancing around every projectile I threw at her. So after those initial 5 games, my average accuracy came out to 44.6%. Honestly, that felt weirdly high. To be fair, I was feeling super locked in that morning, so just to sanity check, I looked up my usual accuracy with Hela over the past season. Turns out it's 41%, so yeah, just by being aware of what I was doing, I managed to pull slightly above average. Not bad. And so I started using an aim trainer I bought years ago, and last played almost 3 years back, and let me tell you, playing it was boring. Editing it, also boring. Watching it, possibly the most boring of the 3. So if this footage isn't doing it for you, enjoy some brain-melting background nonsense in the corner to help keep your soul intact. Or brain rot. Getting into it, I was way worse than I expected. The smooth tracking drill's atrocious. I could barely keep up. But something interesting happened. I noticed the more I slouched in my chair, the worse I got. Like, noticeably worse. Just fixing my posture made a huge difference in my control. I always assumed my normal slouch gaming posture was kind of optimal, the kind of gaming slouch forward you see in the memes. But kind of turns out, at least for me, maybe not. The micro tracking drills really exposed my weaknesses, especially after that Black Widow in Game 5 I was talking about, who I could not for the life of me hit. But I did start to see some tiny improvements. They added up for sure. It wasn't dramatic and it definitely wasn't flashy. And as boring as this was, I did start improving. You can actually see a little bit in the footage, or at least I can. The more I stuck with it, the better my aim got. I powered through an hour of this soul-crushing routine to see if it would make any noticeable difference, and it did start to feel like it was. And honestly, I could not take it anymore, so I just started into the next 5, hoping that this actually did something. This is how they went. Game 1, 55%. Game 2, 45%. Game 3, 51%. Game 4, 42%. Game 5, 52%. Averaging out those 5 games gave me a 49% accuracy. And let me just say, these were not ideal conditions. I had been out all day at the lake, exhausted, sobering up, absolutely cooked by the sun. But I didn't want this video to take a month to finish, especially for such a tiny, stupid little challenge. So I just jumped in. So the fact I managed to pull a 49% under those conditions, honestly, I was pretty impressed with myself. I used to think aim trainers were kind of unnecessary, that just playing more would naturally improve my aim. But after seeing how much I improved from a single hour of dedicated practice, that belief has definitely been challenged. Still, it was so boring. So will I keep using the trainer? Probably not. And maybe that's the perfect full circle for this video. I came in thinking you'd get better just by playing more, and here I am, still kind of hoping that's true.